Everyone's talking about AI these days, right? This season on Compiler, we're diving deep into how AI is reshaping the world we live in. Join us for a new season of Compiler, an original podcast from Red Hat. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to leave up holiday decorations year-round. Others have the need to use their garage as practice space for their new metal band. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
This is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan.
On a main street right next to a hospital. So if you hear sirens, it's probably a drive-by that happens somewhere else. They're just taking them into the hospital.
So you're living in Akron now?
No, I'm in Canton, south of Beldenville, just south of the Football Hall of Fame. Literally, I see the Football Hall of Fame. Mine is the very next exit. I can walk to the Football Hall of Fame from my house. It's that close. Sometimes people try to park in my yard during the Hall of Fame, and yeah, okay.
That's actually, I used to live right by there. When I was getting divorced, did you come to my house and drink wine with me?
Yeah.
I think you did. But
I probably don't remember.
Well, I had my ex-wife and I had.
Wait. Which one?
I only have one ex.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, the other one was. You're probably thinking Beth.
Which one was I the best man for?
That was Sandy, my first wife.
Okay. You're definitely divorced from her.
Yeah.
You're calling her the ex.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And we lived in Canton, right down the street from Belden Village. Like if you go from Belden Village and start heading towards North Canton, you will hit what is that, Main Street, and then you hang a right. Maybe it's not Main.
Cleveland?
I forget what it is. It like dead ends right there. If you hang a left, it goes down into Canton. Yeah, it goes into North Canton.
Hang a right, and
yeah.
I lived in an apartment down very close to that. There was a Fisher's grocery store about 2 blocks from my apartment.
Yeah, that's well, our apartment was right by there, and it was a nice apartment. And my ex and I, we collected wine, collected a lot of very, very good wine, and when she finally got caught cheating on me, I decided that it was time to call Burke, invite him over, And we proceeded to go through 14 bottles of.
Ergo, why I don't remember the evening. I do kind of remember I do kind of remember the area kind of thing, but yeah.
That was it was actually a townhouse, and it had a basement, which was flat out awesome. I had a double door that went right out from the basement down, where I had my grill and all that stuff. It was great. I had it decked out. And then everything else happened in life. Was not a fun time. Actually, it was. That wine was incredibly good. You and I were talking earlier today about something, and that brought things up in my mind.
Hi. Actually, come here.
Isle of Man.
You put that on hold for 2 seconds.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Uncle Scott Davis.
Okay, which daughter is this?
This is the oldest one. She is working.
This is Sam.
This is Samantha, yes.
Okay.
I have a Sammy Davis and I have a Mac Davis.
The last time I saw Sam, she was about 5 years old, so she's not going to remember me.
No. When did I see?
I don't know. I don't remember much of.
No, the last time that Burke and I were around and I saw his kids was you were about 5 years old.
Mackie would have been like a little tiny baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think she was born yet.
That was
Your wife was
4 years
pregnant.
older, so maybe she was 4.
Yeah.
Your wife was pregnant when I saw you the last time.
Gotcha.
Wow. Wow.
25 now.
That was about 21 years ago that you saw her. Yes, let's do the math here.
Wow.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have kids.
No, I have adults.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
You have adults. Yes.
Yes. I have offspring.
Does she live there?
Yeah.
Or is she visiting?
No. She actually, because she's working and going to school, it's like we have the room here. There's no real reason to get your own apartment and spend $600-800 a month when we have room. It's like and she works midnights. It's not like we see her a ton, and she goes up and does her own stuff, and it's like, okay.
Now, the last time I was with you, you were in a house with your mother-in-law.
Yes, that was a big ass house. That was a nice place. We moved into that place I think in 98 or 99.
It was somewhere close to there because
that one was like dead south of Belden Village. Like if you drove through Belden Village and just kept going south, and it was a little, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not very far from that house was very near 20th Street, and if you just 20th Street over to dead ends into this road that's actually right behind me. As a matter of fact, it's like 2 miles, 2.5 miles most.
Okay. Then before that, you and your mother, you were on Portage Lakes.
No. It was a condo down in Canton here, which is like in between the big house. Or maybe you visited us at the condo then, because the condo was on a lake. Is that what you're thinking?
I visited you there, and then I visited you at the big house.
Okay. Yeah, the condo was on the lakes. Thank you. Yeah. Myers Lake. It's right over here.
Yes, the condo, as a matter of fact, your wife was, I forget where she was working.
She was probably working. Where was she working? It might have been up in Akron at which is the place that's no longer there, West Point Market.
Was that where she was working in the bakery?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, West Point Market tore down and gone.
What?
Yeah, that's all like strip mallish action there, and there's stuff.
I was in Cleveland. Well, I was in Ohio, 1999. And we went up to the West Side. Was it not the West Side Market? What's the place in Cleveland? Yeah, it would be the West Side Market. Yeah. And I was literally surprised that it was still around. I thought they would have torn
and still
that
is
place
to this
down.
day. And now that place won't die. It's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little rougher now, just with COVID and all this kind of bullshit. But no, it's still around.
Oh, I love COVID. Come on, this has been the best time of my life.
Well, at least I got my house painted.
2
months and nothing to do. Hey, let's paint every room, because we had just moved into this joint like about a year previous to COVID breaking out, and then we had two months off, and it's like, fuck it, let's go paint the house. It was like, we make it the way we like it.
Well, there you go. Well, most likely your mother-in-law's probably passed away by now.
She has, yes.
So I mean, it's a good thing for you guys to get your own place.
Oh, I mean, that place, granted, I loved the garage at that old house. Oh my God. But it was just, we would have had one big ass empty room. I guess I could have had a dedicated computer room, but it was huge. It was a bedroom, it's like, it was just way too big for 4 people or, 3 people really, because Mac's up in Toledo most of the time anyway. So this place is just cheaper and cozier and nicer, and it's even closer to the expressway for that matter.
Okay, who's up in Akron? Max.
Mac is in Toledo.
Mac is in Toledo.
Going to the University of Toledo, and she's doing physical therapy up there.
Gotcha.
So she lives up there, and she's got a part-time job at one of the hospitals up there. So even when it's like summer, she's still kind of staying up there most of the time.
You had 2 daughters?
Yes. That, as far as I know, that's it.
What is it with you and I having daughters? I don't get it.
It's a curse. For all our asshole misogynist ways in our youth. It's karma.
Okay. I love my daughters. But man, daughters are not easy to grow up with. So
they're very emotional, which I did not expect. I did not see that coming. I won't lie.
Well, and it's hard because the people that we dated were not. I've met your wife. She's not the. She's
not a girly girl by any stretch.
Right. I don't know. So, anyways, we were talking earlier about the favorite races that I wanted to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually showing a video right now to Burke.
You said Isle of Man, but this is
the Manx Classic Hill Climb on the Isle of Man.
Oh goodness. Okay.
So every car that you're going to see here is British.
And damn near 100 years old. That was a wooden car, wasn't it?
Yeah. And right there's a Morgan 3-wheeler.
Oh God, yeah. The original drift car.
So what race would you like to go see? I'm gonna force you to do Put-in Bay next year, so that's done.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But what race would you? Ooh, that was the MG that just went by. Go on. What race would
God,
you like to go see?
oh, that's a tough question. I mean, and honestly, I haven't been to a ton of them. I honestly, as much as I give them grief, I wouldn't mind going to an Indy 500 race just because I've never been, and that's some incredibly fast driving. I mean, it's a lot of left turns apparently, but
It's all left turns. Go
oh,
on.
okay, yeah, and they call that racing. But anyway, no, that would be fun to see
The
that
mecca
once.
of motorsports. Come on.
Yeah, actually the motorcycle race on the Isle of Man.
Oh, the TT race.
Oh dear God, those guys are completely insane. Well, I think they're slightly one step down from all those guys that do the rally races in like these little off back hills, where they're going 100 miles an hour down a one lane gravel road, and they're co-pilots, going left and right, and those guys are completely insane. Although the crash compilations are priceless on those.
That's
But
the Isle of Man is those are the two famous races that are done on the Isle of Man, the hill climb and the TT race. The TT race, there was some sort of stat that like someone dies every 5 years in it. So that's kind of a little bit crazy. I wouldn't mind going and seeing that, but
yeah.
But
the 24 hour of lemons.
Man, you know what? We might have to do the
Oof.
24-hour of lemons party via Zoom. I mean, your buddy, what was his name? Bob?
Yes.
But he spells it
Oh,
backwards.
there he is. Look. Oh, kicking up the rear end on a Triumph. Yeah. What a great suspension setup that was.
Ooh, that looks like a Jaguar. I couldn't tell it.
Oh, maybe.
It had the stubby headlights. See,
That looks like a Lotus.
I can't tell.
I'm getting. I mean, like all British cars, I'm kind of bad on them anymore. And gee, I wonder what that is.
Did it have kidneys in the front?
Yeah, it did. I think it was a precursor to the 2002.
Oy vey, what the? Okay, that always made me nervous with those cars because the gas tank is like right in the middle of your back. A Peugeot.
Wait, that's not a British car. Hold on, you lied to me.
It's not all British. They're all they're classic cars.
Mostly classic Euro cars, yes. I couldn't even begin to tell you what these things are. I mean, there's probably Morgans and Bugattis, and yeah, God only knows.
It just looks like one of the coolest races that you'd ever see.
Oh, cat.
That's and I'm saying that with having a friend who does the Pikes Peak race.
I think would just give me anxiety.
Any race that they have to shorten the track whenever there's clouds around makes me a little bit nervous.
I gotta admit, man, I'm like so curious as like the guys that do that race with like carburetors. How the hell do they adjust for that shit?
That was a Triumph.
There we go. Little TR3A maybe.
Oh yeah. That's a very good question because I think 3/4 of was that an Aston?
I'm looking at a blank screen at the moment. Oh, there we go.
There's another Triumph.
My video is a little jumpy on my end. Oh, there he is. Oh, so cute.
That is a cute car. I don't know, what was I
Hang
just
tight. I
saying?
gotta shut a window.
That must be Triumph time.
Oh, there's an old Triumph there. That's cool.
Like I said, I think we're in Triumph time.
Yeah, it must be Triumphville. Not a bad town to visit. Wouldn't want to live there.
No.
Probably like a Triumph Stag or something that we've never seen over here.
Okay, so what else with motors are you into? Oh, that's an American car.
Oh,
hey, hold on
shit.
before you get into that. It always amazes me when they put American cars onto streets in England. Because the American cars are like 3/4 of the width of the road.
Oh yeah. Well, you figure that out real quick when you drive a right-hand drive Mini in America, and you can fit your car and another Mini in the same lane.
Look at that thing. Anyways, what
Another race that I would like to go see. I always wanted to watch pretty much anything at like Laguna Seca. I just think that's a fascinating track. It's got so many hills and off-camber corners and stuff like that that just look like it'd be a blast. I would like to go watch the Daytona 24-hour race. I think that would be great. I hadn't really thought about it. I was not having the availability to go. I was just like, whatever, you know. But,
well, you see, you're gaining availability lately. Both your kid, well, one of your kids is still living with you. Your other kid is off
both
to college.
live with me. That's just the one, goes to college. Yeah. Cat is on crack, apparently.
You're getting to the point of where you can go and kind of do some things. There's Morgan for you.
Ooh, so pretty.
Oh yeah. That thing's got like a Porsche back end, but a weird front.
Oh, the shit, that wasn't a Jensen. What the fuck was that? Oh God,
I don't know.
I used to remember.
I'm
pretty modern looking little car right there.
Well,
it looks like a Renault.
Remember, cars from the 80s now are classics.
Oh God, there's a Civic hatchback. Yeah, that's like a 98 right there, 97.
Oh, look at that. All these cars are hopping on that corner right there.
Cat, you knocked down my bottle. I will beat your ass.
Oh, that cat will knock down your bottle because that's what cats do.
That's the one proof that the flat earth does not exist. If it did, cats would have knocked everything off the fucking edge.
They're winning 9/11. What is this?
Cat, if you step on my keyboard, I will beat your ass.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, how do I put this in a good way? I am at this point in time hoping to move back to Ohio in the next couple of years.
Cool. There's enough lighting to do here that will keep you afloat?
No.
What are your plans?
I will have to do something else. There's some wheels in work dealing with some places that are only open during the summertime.
Okay.
and I don't want to say anything out loud right now, but
Fair enough.
that's
We're sober enough to keep secrets at this point.
yes, sir. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. But what I was sitting there thinking about was, since Carl doesn't do British cars anymore, he gave all of his British cars away too. I'm thinking that either you or myself are going to have an open space in our garage, and we should start to think about rebuilding a Triumph.
Oh God. You're the worst. You know that, right?
Well, actually, what got me totally thinking about this was the last time that you and I were talking. You wanted to put a Mazda engine.
No. A random straight six BMW engine into a TR6, which already accepts a straight six engine.
Yeah. I'm thoroughly excited about this now. I was at a show the other day, and somebody saw my computer, and it had 16 TR6s as the background, and I was like, I for some reason I'm excited. I mean, and I'm an MG guy.
Yeah, I know. Like Triumph it's like a sickness. I mean, there's no logical reason in the world to own one of the damn things. But once again, we're back to the whole, who designed the damn thing? Oh, the guy that designed every beautiful car in the whole world,
Pininfarina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
and Paul Newman drove the damn thing, raced TR6s. I mean, that's some heritage right there.
Here was the I actually found 4 TR6 shells.
You did the homework. You did the math.
For under $4,000.
I don't think I spent $4,000 on my car originally. And it was a California car.
Well, it became very important to me to try to find a TR6 down here in Texas because of how there's a lot of rust issues with the Triumph
and Ohio in general.
And yeah. Oh, well, I've always said that Ohio is not the place to own a classic car.
No.
It's it's just an expensive place to own a car. Now, what was really exciting me though was the fact that with a TR6, you could, if you fix it up, make a lot of money on this. I'm talking I saw some selling for $25,000-$30,000.
I know they're stupid. They bring stupid money.
But the fact is that you purchase it for like $5,000. You purchase one for $5,000. You fix it up. You could probably end up selling the thing for a pretty hefty profit. So I was sitting there thinking, if I'm taking a job where I'm only working over the summer,
I got all winter to play with a car.
I got all winter to wrench a car. And like I said, since Carl's not going to wrench cars anymore, I'm just picking on Carl. Carl's become an old man. He's really become. It's like, hey, do you want to stay up until 9 o'clock and get on a Zoom call with Burke and I? I'm in bed by then.
You used to go to bed at 5 a.m., dude. What are you talking about?
I was gonna say the last time I spent the night at your house, we didn't go to bed.
Yeah. Oh, hey, now you're tiny. What the hell? Ah,
Because I shared my screen with you.
gotcha. I gotcha.
5,800 bucks. We'll have to rebuild the engine, but
don't want the engine. Of course, maybe you could sell the engine.
well, that's the thing. There's a 1972 that actually runs for 69.
Well, don't want running.
I don't care. Well, you know what? If it's running though, that engine's worth some money. Everyone's always looking for a Triumph engine that works.
That's everyone's always looked for a Triumph engine that works. What do you?
This one kind of cracked me up because it's being sold by the Beverly Hills Car Club.
Jesus.
It's well, I mean, hey, they jump up to 10 grand really quick though.
Yeah, the older they get, those guys hated the rubber bumper ones. 11.9. Jesus. Yeah.
That one's not even complete, and it's
14.5. Jesus.
Great Lakes Auto Sports
Up in my neck of the woods?
up in Illinois.
At TMU, total miles unknown. Yeah, I don't think so.
Look at this. We go all the way down. Let me go to page 3 and let's see how high these actually go. I'm scared now. That looks like they're topping out in the 14s.
Well, there was one for 21.5 there a second ago, but yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Jesus.
Somebody's actually charging $27,000 for a Triumph.
No restoration?
4-cylinder.
Wait, what? That's not right. That's got to be a typo.
27,000 with 100,000 miles on it. It's being sold
in California.
It's being sold in California. It all makes sense now.
BRG restored MGTF 1250. What? It's not even the right info for that car. I think his site's a little messed up, dude.
TF 1250. That does not look like a TF 1250.
It doesn't look like an MG. MGTF 1250. Yeah, no. Post-war.
Yeah,
No. Wire wheels. Those are not wire wheels. Yeah, that's the wrong.
Whatever. That's the wrong information there, my friend. Auto Trader sucks. That's it. All right. So the car business has sucked lately.
Yep.
Nobody's got cars.
Nope. Well, we got a couple. Well, the trucking companies are half the problem at this point.
This is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan.
I got cars that are built sitting in Ohio for 3 weeks that just haven't been delivered. Cars that customers have put money down on because they want that car and they can't get the car. It's like, we even asked the manufacturer, can we go pick them up? And they're like, yeah, no, we can't do that. And we're like, well, that's dumb. And then we started thinking about it. It was like, can you imagine hundreds of dealerships sending down any transport that they could throw together, like a 72 Chevy truck with a come along, coming to pick up a $50,000 van. Like, there'd be hundreds of them just descending upon the plant. I mean, the chaos would be just, I would pay good money to watch the video feed of that shit. But
my gross combined vehicle weight is only 8,000 pounds, but I'm here to pick up 4 cars. Load me up, man. Load me up. I'm a hot shot. Well, it's finally starting to dwell down into the entertainment industry as well. We are in a period now where buying Chinese lights was the way to go because it was cheap.
Right.
Well, they figured out that the American lighting companies can't build their lights because there's no semiconductors, which means that they're the only ones selling stuff. So that cheapo light that was $2,000 last year is now $5,000.
Ow.
Welcome to capitalism. So I haven't figured out what's going to happen in this world yet, but things are not looking all that good. And the whole semiconductor thing, it goes beyond just cars.
Oh, yeah.
There's
cell phones and TVs and
well, not just that. There's a Peterbilt factory right down the street from me here. Their entire lot is full of trucks that can't move.
They're missing. They're 99.9% built,
Mm-hmm.
and that 0.1% keeps them from going forward and stopping and all that good shit. Yeah.
I'm like sitting here going, this is getting crazy, guys. Maybe
Well, like Ford, I guess, like Ford and Chevy are, how they used to do flex fuel in their cars. They got them all built up, and they're deleting the flex fuel part, because if they do that, they don't need as many microchips, and they could actually complete the car and send it. So it's a gas only truck. But I mean, at least they're getting trucks out there,
It's absolutely wonky, man. And the price of everything has skyrocketed so much. You were talking about that Mazda Miata.
Mm-hmm.
$28,000.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, I was looking on our Nissan dealer here, $33,000.
I got dealerships around me that are now putting little added tags, just, looks like little stick on tag that says, oh yeah, we put mud guards on for $150, that kind of shit. They're actually just putting price adjustment of $4,000 on their cars now. Now, if you have a trade-in, they'll knock $1,000 off of that $4,000. And if you do financing with them, they'll knock another $1,000 off of that, add a tag. So now you're only paying $2,000 over sticker price for the car that you want. Only.
Wow. Yeah, shit's getting crazy, man.
Like the worst thing we're doing is charging sticker, and we're putting a ceramic coating on the cars, which gives you like a 5-year guarantee on the inside and the outside. It's like $1,000. At least you're getting something for that extra upcharge, but you know, it is what it is.
That's, like I said, guys, we're going crazy here. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, man. I'm kind of worried about our economy, just because of the fact that we're spending a lot of money right now and we're not making it. And that's, I mean, a gallon of milk is now over $3 here. That's,
I mean, the rich guys are making plenty of money, and the regular folk ain't.
No, like I was talking to one of my friends earlier today about stocks and stuff, because I do have stocks, not a lot, but I have a little bit. And when the pandemic really hit, I bought stocks in certain things that I thought, hey, when the pandemic's over, this is going to come back. People thought I was crazy for buying stock in things like Cedar Fair, which owns Cedar Point. But I bought stock at $20 a share, and it's at 52 a share now.
Nice.
I made some money. The problem with that is that there's not a lot of people do that to make money. Not a lot of people understand the stock exchange and all that. The fact is that 3/4 of the stocks that are out there are ballooned right now, and that makes me nervous. The housing market.
Guys, reminds me of 20 plus years ago when everything was sky high, and then it all just fell down. It's like it's going to be the same thing here real soon.
Oh, what was that? It was 2007. It was 2007 when the housing bubble finally broke. But I'm sitting here. My sister's house in Las Vegas, I think my sister paid $350,000 for it, is now listed at $575,000. There is no way that wood has appreciated that much. Just not. No.
I mean, if she can rent an apartment for the couple years, she ought to sell the fucking thing, take the money and run. And then in a couple of years, when it all crashes down again, buy a nicer, bigger house for $300,000,
I don't know how long it's going to take for it to crash, though. I don't think it's going to be that long. This is unsustainable. You can't keep selling $150,000 houses for $400,000. Jesus, how many snacks do you have in that room?
Well, I have my dry roasted peanuts all the time here. I went and got some cheese crackers because I'm drinking wine. So cheese and crackers and wine, right? Yes.
Wine
the theme.
and cheese.
I have real cheese and shit in there. I just don't feel like getting my cutting board out. I'm being a total ponce about this whole action. I have some smoked Gouda in the cabinet there. I think it would be fabulous with his hair, with his wine.
Just eat some freaking cheddar cheese and or some cheeses.
I have some baby Swiss in there. I have some smoked Gouda in there. I think I have some Munster in there. But
cheeses, you're getting the cracker and the cheese at the same time.
Yeah, it's all in one. It's like it's called a snack.
Oh my gosh. So I wanted to ask you a question here.
Okay.
I think I want to start this podcast with you and you alone.
What on God's green earth for? Jesus.
Hang on, let me finish. Now,
wait, no. This honestly sounds like one of Uncle Carl's ideas, just so you know.
I seriously think that we need to. Here's the thing. We've done 2 podcasts now. Today, we didn't talk about sports that much. I don't really care about that. We talked about money. We talked about Sam. I got to see Sam.
You got to see Sam. We did talk cars, living and getting divorced. And we kind of hit the broad range of the human experience, I guess.
I think I find you and I entertaining.
You would. The problem is just the rest of the world find us entertaining. That would be the whole crux of
okay.
Cat. You're not gonna stand. All right. Look, there's the audience. Say hello to the audience. Now get off my keyboard.
Say hello. Now here's the thing. We did our podcast 2 weeks, or I posted it 2 weeks ago or a week ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was the 3rd highest downloaded podcast we'd ever had.
Well, I mean, I kind of like sent out the feelers to a couple people going, "Hey, you're mentioned in a podcast. Come on down." So those extra 5 people might have done it and put you over the edge.
I've received more emails or messages, Facebook messages, whatever, from people. One of whom actually said, "Thanks for mentioning me."
It wasn't a thanks and a genuine, "Hey, thank you very much," or a "Thanks a lot, asshole."
It was in a text message, so I couldn't tell you which one it was.
Couldn't get the gist of that particular message. If you had to take a guess, what was the tone of that particular message?
Well, since I blotted out a lot of what was said about this person, I think she was okay.
Oh, okay, good. Well, fair enough. Okay, cool.
As a matter of fact, at some point in time, I think you sent me a text going, "Is this so-and-so's number?"
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha.
Well, yeah,
it is. It reminds me, I need to text her and say hello.
I love her. I really do.
Bite my beard? What the fuck, Cat? This thing is an asshole. This thing is a total maniacal asshole. It only has like 1% moments of being cool and loving, and then the rest of the time he's an asshole. Get away.
So I think we should do this once a week.
I don't think the world can handle once a week. Once a month I can totally see.
I think we've got to bring in guest stars though. Like,
well, okay, that I could see. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Like your friend Bob.
That would be I don't know that he has the technical capability quite, because I think he's got a very old he's got a very old laptop in his house. I don't know if he's got Zoom availability, but like I'm going up there Sunday to yeah, the words escape me. Sorry, words went away. This is October. There's a holiday at the end of this month coming up. Halloween. That's the biggest holiday that they have. They go all out for their Halloween they're not content. Their Halloween party is a little infamous and famous and just awesome.
Okay.
If I had the ability to share screen with my phone, I would send you thousands of pictures of pumpkin carvings and party stuff. And yeah, but it takes weeks to get their house ready for this. So I'm going this Sunday and probably the next few Sundays and maybe a couple Wednesdays just to get the whole barn and house and everything ready for that. So, but if I'm over there, I could probably throw down the phone and get him on phone for a couple minutes at least and go from there. But I don't know, maybe he can Zoom. I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Don't know. I think we should invite Tracy Tupman.
I would love to talk to Tracy Tupman again. Okay, I can't remember. You've met him, right?
I did. I met him. You actually took me over to a party at his house when he, which his house was very interesting.
That's really politically correct, even coming from you.
He had hair back then.
Yeah, a lot of us did. Yeah.
So
dude, I had dude, when I first went into college, I mean, I have a picture somewhere. I was kind of the spitting image of like a 20-year-old Jeff Foxworthy. Like I had the fucking mullet thing going on. I had the mustache. I mean, that's kind of what I looked like back then before Jeff was Jeff. He copied me.
I kind of used to put you in the same boat as Gary Green. You had the mullet.
Oh yeah. Well, his was really oh my God, I'm losing my hair in high school. I got to do something about it maneuver. Mine was, I don't give a fuck what I look like. And there you go.
You had the mustache.
I have had facial hair since I was a sophomore or junior in high school. With the exception of once when I was married, I shaved everything off and my wife went, "Oh Christ, yeah, grow that shit back." You know, it was like, okay, cool. She couldn't stand it either. I had a full beard as a junior in high school, which that's how I got to drinking when I was because that was that grandfather thing. I was like, you're not.
You got the 19.
I was old enough to drink beer, but not hard liquor. But I looked old enough to drink hard liquor in a bar, and I was allowed in the bars, so I was getting away with it. Yeah, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I had Gary Green. That was about it. Anyways, on that note, I think we're good to go here.
A short one. Judas Priest. I'm not going to wake up drunk for my doctor's appointment.
This one was short. It was sweet. The next one, I'm actually going to sit down and write out a plan for what we'll discuss. This was an off the cuff. I just wanted to hang out with you. I hadn't seen you in a couple of weeks.
And previous to that, you hadn't seen me in a decade.
But that's I truthfully think that I'm going to start a new podcast. Something I don't know what it's going to be.
The Burke and Scott, the Scott and Burke show.
Going back to the 80s or
Davis
something
and
like
Davis.
That. Davis and Davis. I like that one. Davis and
Sound like
Davis.
an evil law firm, don't we?
The law firm of Davis and Davis presents.
Been hurt in an accident, call Davis and Davis.
if you were sexually abused by a priest, call Davis and Davis.
We'd love to laugh at you. Sorry.
We won't get you any money, but we will help you through it.
God, what was I reading the other day? It was something to the effect of some guy was tweeting to some other guy, "You should go to church," and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'd rather take that 10% of my income and go to a stripper bar because A, the touching is consensual, B, there's less rules, and C, I'm just gonna have a much better time. Seems like much better value to me." So
oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the law firm of Davis and Davis. If you were abused by a scoutmaster,
Ever been to the back of a theater before and had hands grow up at you? Call Davis and Davis. They were probably the ones doing it in the first place.
Call Davis and Davis for an apology from them.
If we were young and stupid, sorry.
Hey, we did do some stupid stuff, but there was a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, we were young, and it was like the late '80s, early '90s. I mean, it was the era of stupid coming to a close.
People would go to prison now for the things that we did.
Maybe.
I mean, just saying.
Just saying, maybe.
There's definitely a lot of women that I grew up with that I venture to guess really don't see things the same way that we did back then.
Well, yeah, okay, to be honest, neither do we. You know, I mean, I mean, there's a lot of apologies I would love to make, but you know, it's like, yeah, sorry, I was kind of a dickhead, but I didn't know any better. I didn't know there was, I didn't know any better.
Well, I don't. I digress. I'm just,
yeah.
You know, it was a different time zone.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
We were on East Coast time at that point in time. Now we're on Pacific. So what you gonna do?
We're slowly getting dragged to the 21st century. We're trying our best.
You know, well, you know, I sit back and I think about it a lot because there were several people that I have apologized to now for things that I did back then. But I kind of sit back and I'm like, man, I wasn't the worst out of all of them.
Well, no, yeah, that is also true. I mean, we were at least sincere in a lot of our.
Well, I don't think that we ever really. Okay,
we never did anything maliciously.
That was
maybe stupidly, yes, but never maliciously.
I mean, if a woman said no, a woman said no. That's
very true. Yeah. So we were at least good with that shit. So we were 30 years ahead of the times then.
You think? Were we really?
Fuck, we were progressive. What the fuck?
I was telling one of my friends, one of my friends from high school actually just had a kid.
Wait, like her first?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's like
his first.
Yeah, but still, that's like.
Yeah.
Damn.
I said you do realize that when he goes and graduates high school, you're going to be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you'll be retired.
50, 60,
You'll be the
70.
greeter at Walmart.
I mean, come on. What were you thinking? But then again, he married like okay, I'm definitely cutting all this out because I know he listens. He married like a 23-year-old Filipino chick.
Were there stamps involved in that transaction?
I don't think so, but I do believe that a cousin or something got free transportation to him.
Okay, yeah, there was a little bit of okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
in the last podcast, did I tell you about like when I first started back in 08 to the Honda store? I'd been working in a place that was very near to my house for like 10 months, but I got downsized. Went back to Honda in 08. Like the first car I sold was this last year's model V6 Accord hybrid, which I never understood why you make a V6 and hybrid, but whatever. But this guy was like, he was all about his like Filipino brides. Like he had one, and now he's working on his second one. And he's like showing me pictures and shit, and I'm just like going, great. Get me. I was so fucking uncomfortable. Jesus fucking Christ. And he's like older than me, and she's like 20. I was like, I just want to wash my hands right now. Go away, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was a little ugly.
Okay. Remember the "I love you, man." Love you, man. Well, it's "I love you, man's" best friend. Who?
Oh my, yeah.
So, I
we'll bleep all that shit out.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what John was thinking, but I was like, man, don't you realize that this world that you're bringing that kid into is not the same world that we grew up in? Like the world that we grew up in was fun, was exciting. We had a good time. We did stuff we weren't supposed to do. There's none of that anymore.
There was a lot less consequences back then.
Back then,
like DUIs weren't even that big of a deal when we were in college. They were getting bad, but they were not that big of a deal.
But the thing about growing up in that time period was that the popo and all that knew what you were doing. They honestly didn't give a crap.
There's other shit to do. Busting people selling weed, that was important.
You know, it was, well, even back in the 80s, the weed thing wasn't. In the 80s, people kind of grew up with that mentality of it's our job to get away with it. Not it's our job to not do it. It's our job to get away with it.
Yeah.
That was popo bad. It's your job to get away with it. See what you can get away with. When I got pulled over with a 24-pack of beer and 3 cans open with 3 drunk people in my car, and the cop looked at me and said, "What's that?" I said, "I don't know. My mother must have left it there." Getting away with it was what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
It's not like that nowadays, man.
Hey, I got a great question for you. Have you ever been arrested?
Yes.
I don't have that distinction. I've never come. Well, I came kind of close at one point, but it was a dealer tag that was expired on a car that I was driving over the weekend. It was like whatever. But I've never done something that really warranted getting arrested. So yeah.
Okay. 1997, I got arrested for a DUI in Virginia Beach. So everyone knows, not convicted. Thank you.
One of my favorite lines from Stripes. Have you ever been convicted for a felony? Convicted? No, never convicted.
When else was I arrested? I was arrested for okay, my friend and I were racing. I don't know if you remember this. I know that you came to my parents' house in Medina a couple of times. That development, there was a group of streets, Concord, Sunhaven, Southport, where you could make a racetrack. So one of my friends from Cleveland came down with his Trans Am, and I was driving the ultimate minivan. My father.
Oh God, I remember that. I drove that van. Yes, I totally remember that thing. That thing was a blast. The sleeper car of the century. And your dad was so proud of that van.
Feel that power. Feel that power. I said, okay, my father had bought this Chrysler minivan.
No, he ordered it.
He ordered it. And what it was it was a turbocharged V6 3.6 liter engine. Turbocharged.
Minivan.
In a minivan.
In the 80s.
in a minivan.
And not just a minivan, the shortened minivan. So it was a touch lighter than regular minivans. Yeah, it was fucking great. I mean, it was hilarious to drive. I drove it once and was like, I kind of like this. What the fuck? Well, I shouldn't like this. This feels wrong. This is like kissing my sister. I shouldn't like this.
So my friend Paul and myself are running the racetrack. We pull back into the house, and the reason that we stopped was because some guy was throwing beer bottles at us when we went by his house. And so I was like, hey, we should probably stop this because it's so we parked the cars in my mom and dad's garage. This was when my parents were actually moving. They were moving from Concord Drive over to Windfall. And so the house was butt ass empty. We parked both cars in there. It was the last lap as I was coming back, and I hit a curb.
Oh.
In the ultimate minivan from hell. And so we pull the cars into the garage, and I look at the damage, and I mean, it's bad. The tire is literally like this. It's like, oops, Dad's not gonna be happy about that. But Dad was in like Australia. I think he was in Australia at that point in time. So he wasn't gonna be able to do anything to me. Anyways, we're inside drinking beer because we had a case of beer. And all of a sudden I noticed red and blue lights in the front window.
It's not Christmas time. What is that?
So I look at Kirsch, oh God, I said his last name. I'll have to bleep that out. I look at Paul. I'm like, well, shit. My mother's best friend is a cop. Let me call him. See what so I call my mother's best friend, who was my hunting partner at the time. And
okay.
I'm like, Dave, there's cops outside my house. He said, yeah, they want you to come out. Said,
oh, man.
Dave, I'm not done with my beer yet.
It's still cold. I mean, come on.
he said, well, the longer you stay in there, the more everyone's going to notice something. This is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan. What's going on? I said, damn, Dave, I got to finish that beer first, because I know I'm not going to get beer for a while after this. So 2 hours pass and Dave comes to the front door now. he knocks. I opened the door. He said, "You can come out now." I said, "But I'm not done with my beer." He said, "No, your mom said you were done with the beer."
Damn it, you called my mom? You son of a bitch.
So where I could have been arrested and charged with evading the police and barricading myself in my house and all this stuff, I literally got a $50 ticket for reckless operation.
Here, I have that in my wallet. Fuck. Yeah.
There are pros to living, like, at that point in time, Medina was a small town. Our population was about 5-10 grand for the entire county
max.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of people that lived in Medina. And I mean, because you grew up in Akron, right? Yeah, you went to Hoban, didn't you?
No, Central Hour.
Oh, you went to Central. Oh, sorry.
I really enjoyed my time there.
I hear he went there.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
We never knew each other. We never had a clue.
I don't remember. Wasn't she she was dating that or something like that during the college years.
Could have been
Paul Stefan.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, that was my story about being arrested. Yes, and you've never been arrested.
No, man. I got kind of close-ish once, and that was it, man. I've never. Yeah, no, never.
Yeah,
never gone down to a police station or nothing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, never say never. Hey, here from the next room. Never say never.
Yeah, when I got pulled over for the DUI, okay. Here's all right, guys. This happened in the 90s. So, and this was the incident that literally got me to the point of where I do not drink and drive. Doesn't matter. If I'm going to drink, I will Uber. I will take a cab. I don't care what it costs me. It's just so much easier and cheaper. So I was living in Virginia Beach. I had just gotten divorced from Sandy. I moved back to Virginia Beach to get the hell away from her. So living with a buddy from the Navy. His name was Vinny, and Vinny was a great guy, but Vinny was an alcoholic. This guy was in the Navy. He ran the shop. So literally he would almost every day release himself at about 2:00 in the afternoon, be home by 3, and we would be drunk ass by 5 slinging darts. So Vinny and I are at home one night. This had to have been a Friday or Saturday night. I can't remember which. And we're throwing darts and having a good time. And I'm like, okay, Vinny, I think I'm gonna go to bed. So I get in my bed clothes, go upstairs, lay down. About an hour later, Vinny comes up and he's like, I need a ride over to the bars because I have an interlock in my car. He had already it was like his 5th DUI. And they had an interlock in his car, so he would have to blow in it to get his car to start, and then it would tell him to blow every so often here and there. Anyways, he so he looks at me, he's like, I need you to give me a ride over to the bar. And I was like, okay. I'm still drunk. I'm in my pajamas. I have slippers on, people. Slippers. I drive Vinny over to the bar that him and I usually hang out at. He proceeds, or I pull into the parking lot and I notice a police car. And I'm like, oh, this is not a good thing. I pull into a parking spot and like 2 other police cars pull up. I'm like, oh, dude, this is not good. We need to get out of here. So I put the car in reverse. All of a sudden, there's like a 6'7" black cop reaching in through my window, trying to take the keys out. So I hit the gas.
Knee-jerk reaction.
Totally. He, of course, is screaming, "You're trying to kill me. You're trying to kill me." And I said, "No, I'm just trying to get away from you."
Totally different thing.
So I finally come to my senses, stop the car, and I'm like, okay, whatever. He's like, "I need you to do a field sobriety test." I went, "I'm in my slippers. I'm not doing a field sobriety test." So then he comes back to me like 10 minutes later. He's like, "Mr. Davis, you have to, we're going to take you downtown and you're going to have to do a breathalyzer." I said, "You can take me downtown, but I'm not doing a breathalyzer without my attorney present." Boom. Laying in my jail cell.
Now, these cuffs are really tight. Damn.
No, they take those off once they throw you into the jail.
Well, that's nice of them then. Yeah.
What? I mean, because literally, once you say, "I'm not doing anything until I have my attorney," the only thing that he said to me was, "Just so you know, you will lose your license for a year because of refusing the breathalyzer." And I was like, right. I don't care. There you go. Would I rather lose my license for a year and not have an interlock in my car for 5 more years that I have to pay $180 a month for? No. Okay. I can handle losing my license for a year.
I can do the math. Thank you.
So I go through the whole arrest thing. I'm in jail. They finally let me go. My roommate comes and picks me up. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for you to blah, blah." I'm like, okay, whatever. I was charged with refusing the breathalyzer and DUI. So we go to my first court appearance. Actually, my mother drives all the way from Ohio to Virginia Beach to be with me when I go up for my court appearance. And so anyways, we're there and they call my name. I walk up there. The judge looks at me and goes, do you have an attorney? I said, no. He's like, well, do you have a job? I said, right now, no, I just moved here. And he was like, okay, you can't go through this without an attorney. This is too serious. And I said, okay. He's like, I'm going to appoint you an attorney and we'll reschedule this. I said, okay, cool. Whatever. You know, my mother's all in the back of the room, all happy because I'm not going to jail again. Meet with my attorney. Everything's fine. Court case is like 6 months down the road. I go for my court case. Mother doesn't come with me this time because she doesn't want to see me taken to jail. I sit down in the courtroom. There's about 25 guys there.
Okay.
And it's supposed to start at 9:00. Well, it made it all the way to 10:30 and nothing was happening. All of a sudden the judge walks in. He sits down and he looks thoroughly pissed off. He calls up the first case and he's like, this case is dismissed. You can go. Goes through 20 people, dismisses all their cases. I'm like the last person sitting in the courtroom. Everyone else is gone. It's only me now. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, Mr. Davis. So I go, I get up there. My attorney's standing with me. The judge looks at me and goes, Mr. Davis, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is the luckiest day of your life. And I'm like sitting there going, what? He's like, both cases have been dismissed due to the fact that the police officer that arrested you is in jail right now for a DUI.
Oh, darn.
I'm like sitting here going, hold on here. What? He's like, you're free to go. In the state of Virginia, they don't have prosecuting attorneys for misdemeanor and stuff. The police officer is the prosecuting attorney.
Interesting.
So if
there's no
prosecuting attorney does not show up,
there's no case.
So he had to let every person that was arrested by that police officer go.
That was the whole day. Oh, you got arrested by Bob? Yeah, you're done. Bob, you're done. Bob, you're done.
So, like I said earlier today, I have been arrested for a DUI. I was never convicted. And I got to keep my license.
Dumb luck.
I was sitting there trying to think about that. I'm like, God has to be that had to be a God thing, because of the fact that I went to court with my mother fully expecting to have to go to jail for 5 days. Now there's nothing.
I am, and forgive the pun, scot-free.
So ever since then, I don't drink and drive. I will never drink and drive. I won't let any of my friends drink and drive. I would rather pay a $75 Uber bill than have to go through that again.
Well, that's half the reason I have the jobs I have now. I still drive for people. Like, I go out to their house, I drive their car and drive them around, let them get drunk, drive them home, and go home. It's like I'm driving nice cars. I'm driving super nice cars and getting paid to do it. It's like just because they've had one DUI and realize, yeah, fuck that. I don't want that crap in my life anymore. You know, it's like I can pay this dude to drive me around. Okay, cool. You know,
I mean, I am all about going out and playing pool or throwing darts or whatever. It's just they've gotten so strict about these laws that
Oh yeah.
it's not worth it. I was always, you know what, I liked it in the 80s because they had DUI laws and all that. But honestly, they didn't really screw with you unless you were in an accident and did something stupid.
You had to be really stupid to get their attention.
Exactly.
And if you were a dumbass to them, yeah, you were done. If you were like,
If you were a
sorry,
dumbass,
they were like, okay, you know.
like trying to back the truck up while he's taking your keys out.
Well, I remember I was working at one of the Holland Oil gas stations, and it was down. Is that Talmadge Avenue that turns into Memorial Parkway when it goes into the valley? I was basically, it was down in that area. I would have to drive High Street to get there in the morning, right past the police station at like, 4
Right.
or 5 o'clock in the morning. And one morning I was running late. I was driving fast, and some cop who was obviously getting off work like stopped me, yelled at me to slow the F down, and then took off. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, when they yelled at me and let me go, I was cool. I never sped in that area ever again. I was like, you did me a solid. I'm going to do you a solid. I'm going to listen to you. So, yeah, I get it.
Is that Talmadge Avenue? Doesn't Talmadge break off from what was the street that the Stan Hewitt Hall's on?
No, that wasn't Merriman.
Merriman.
That was Portage.
Oh, that was Portage.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the Memorial Parkway dead ends into Portage. Yeah, you're correct.
Right. Okay. And I haven't been there in like 30 years. That was pretty good, wasn't it?
That's pretty damn good. I haven't been there probably in 20.
You know, I officially this year have lived in Texas longer than I lived in Ohio.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a scary statistic.
Yeah, I was actually kind of depressed about that because you're constantly going, oh no, I'm an Ohioan. Well,
Not anymore.
No, I do believe you're a Texan now. Trust me, I was talking to one of my friends from high school this morning, and her and I were discussing the differences of living in Texas and Ohio. And I said, well, here's the differences. First off, you see a lot of concrete here. Oh, you're on number 2?
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
You're on number 2?
This is the Beaujolais. This is very good.
Beaujolais. It's all about the Beaujolais. I still can't believe that you went all the way through your childhood and didn't get arrested. With all the friends that shoot, do you not remember all of the street signs we used to steal? Actually, I don't think you stole any with me.
One. But no, it's dumb luck, I think, more than anything else on my part.
I mean, I don't think either of us drove slowly.
Not unless we were driving my Triumph and the roads were really bad. No.
I don't think that ever really stopped us from driving your Triumph fast.
No. Well, I mean, the carburetor sometimes stopped me from driving fast, but other than that, no.
And if all else fails, we could just go pick up Dad's minivan.
Yeah. It's like that and my best man's speech are pretty much the only things I remember about your wedding.
That's it.
The fact that I hadn't prepared one, it was kind of like doing it off the cuff, and everyone's looking at me like, you asshole. And no, please take no offense at this, but I'm thinking to myself anyway. This shit ain't gonna last. Who cares? You know, that was kind of my.
Oh, let's see. I got married in 1994. I got divorced in 1997. So that
See, I was right.
That did not take long.
No.
But then again, you know, the problem with her was that every time she tripped, somebody else's fell on her.
Hey, that happens. I mean, come on. That's.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's funny because, like, nowadays, like, y'all probably would have talked and said, "Hey, I want to go play with that dude," and you probably would have been like, "Okay, yeah."
It's a different world nowadays, though. It's
No, it's not a different world. It's just, you know, like, you had no idea that world existed back then, and now you do. You know,
it's her choices in male companionship were
questionable at best.
yeah, I would say
You
that
were the husband material. They were probably the bad boys, weren't they?
Yes, and that's really why every relationship she's had since has never made it. I think
let me guess, you don't feel too horribly bad about that.
I was husband 3. I think she's on 6.
Oh God.
I think she's on 6 now. You know, thankfully for her, she number 6 has stuck around.
Has a job.
He owns a vineyard or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for her. I mean, some people take a little while longer to grow up. Whatever.
You know, I always back when we were in the Navy. Well, when I went back to Virginia Beach, I went back into the reserves for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And the squadron that we were at all knew my ex-wife. As a matter of fact, I think almost all of them had slept with her. But I digress. And it used to be funny because we'd be sitting there talking, and somebody would start to chant like, oh, you don't know Davis here? They'd be like, oh, well, do you
married
remember,
her?
Do you remember Mount Rushmore? And they went, well, the chant went like this. It went Rodriguez, Rushmore, Rodriguez, Gromit, Rodriguez, Davis.
Wow. That's harsh, man.
I was like, thanks a lot, guys. But then I would add in now it's Rodriguez, Gromit, Rodriguez, Rushmore, Rodriguez, Gromit, Rodriguez, Davis, Rodriguez, Siger, Rodriguez. And so she's on husband 5 now. Yeah. I don't know his last name, so I can't finish the song.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, okay, she grew up finally. Okay, good for her. You know.
Now you know what? Okay, I grew up in Ohio. I love Ohio. Ohio is my favorite state. It's got 4 seasons. It's the best place in the world to raise a kid. It is the best place in the world to live. It really is.
We have earthquakes, but they're tiny. We have no tsunamis. We have no natural disasters here. I mean, it's kind of a great place to live. It's cold enough that most of the big ass bugs die. It's warm enough that it's warm enough to have some fun in the summer. It's kind of and as the global warming happens, it's going to be a great place to live for the next 20 years.
Oh, I have always said that growing up in Ohio was the best experience of your life. You saw 4 seasons. You saw how the world is supposed to work. Then I moved to Texas, and it's all concrete here. I swear to God, the one thing that I say to myself all the time is, God, I miss trees, because we don't have any here.
It's weird because like the same thing happened. Like I would go visit my father in Southern California for the summer, and it was beautiful weather. I mean, it was summertime, for crying out loud. It was beautiful weather, warm. You're near the beach, whatever. But it was always brown. Everything was brown all the time.
Yeah.
And then you would fly back to Ohio, and this like verdant, lush green would just like jump out at you at the same time that the 90% humidity level would jump out at you and go smack you in the face and go, oh yeah, remember this? Oh Christ, yeah, okay, yeah, that's why it's so green. But
okay,
I get it.
Growing up in Medina, we had whip sledges right close to us.
Yeah, nice.
The 90% humidity is absolutely 100% tolerable when you're walking through the woods and don't have that sun beating down on you.
Yeah.
And that's the things that you don't get down here in Texas. Unless you head to East Texas or West Texas, you might be able to find some trees there, but enjoy the rattlesnakes while you're at it. Guess what? We don't have those in Ohio. Actually, I found out
rattlesnakes, but you just don't ever see them.
It's there's
and
one
we
species.
don't got scorpions.
There's one species of rattlesnake in Ohio, and I think it was
Diamondback.
I think it's the timber rattler.
Oh, okay, that could be.
But that's it. It's too cold for water moccasins. Don't get copperheads there. Like when I lived in Virginia Beach, copperheads were left and right.
I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, so copperheads. Yeah, they were. I never saw one, but they were there.
Yeah.
Rat snakes, but they're just like girder snakes, but black or brown. Yeah.
But there's nothing really there to come out and kill you. We don't have bears. We don't have
deer is like the worst thing we got here, because if you hit them with your car, you're dead.
You're dead.
But that's about it. Yeah.
It's a great place to grow up.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, the whole point that I was making with that is Sandy was from Texas.
All right.
Guess where she lives now?
Ohio.
Wooster.
Which really pisses them off when you say it like that. It's Worcester.
But everyone in Ohio says it like Wooster. Where are you going? Wooster. What are you going to Wooster for? Wooster.
Now, they have a good college, which actually the eldest one that you met earlier went to the College of Worcester. And believe it or not, David Bowie's kid went to the College of Worcester also.
I was never a fan of the College of Worcester. Ashland, loved Ashland. Ashland was 20 minutes from my house in Medina. Because there was a college there, you could go to the bowling alley in Ashland at the age of about 8 and be able to buy a beer.
Always a bonus.
It was a big bonus.
Did you turn on some new lighting? Because you look very bright now.
Yes, I actually turned my light on because the sun has now gone down.
Oh,
So I had to do something, or you would keep seeing my backdrop flashing because it can't figure out where the person is. Oh, hey,
yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, I don't think I've ever sent you a picture of my little studio. I have these 2 LED lights in the corners, and it's very interesting.
So my microphone's rubbing on my shirt here. I'm probably making less of noise.
Yeah, but you know, you actually sound better than you did in the beginning of this whole thing.
These are actually pretty decent wired in headphones, so yeah, they probably do sound a little bit better.
But yeah. And like I said, I'm still amazed at the things that we did, and you never got arrested.
I know. Like dumb luck.
Now, with the things that we did in college, aren't you worried about Sam doing the same things?
Being that she never drove, like being in Worcester, you walked everywhere. So
Okay.
there was not a lot of like moving violations to be had. So
I wasn't
there's
talking
probably
about
half
the
of the
driving.
yeah, probably half of the issues gone there, and definitely the more deadly ones. And it's like it's Worcester. You know, there's a lot of I don't know. It's like
You just made that sound that like my grandfather used to make all the time when he would get frustrated.
What am I gonna do? I'm 45 minutes away. What am I gonna do? Like, yeah, it's whatever.
Well, actually, first off, you're the parent, so you've got nothing to do with this any longer. Now you can just watch and ride the ride.
I can sit.
This is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan.
Back and laugh, but that's about all I can do at this point.
Well, how many times have you done that with her?
Oh, a couple times, absolutely. I've totally gone. Told you so. Told you so. Yeah. Did I tell you to not to do that? Yeah, and you did it. Yeah. Okay. Told you so. Yeah.
Here, let me introduce you to some of my friends from college, and we'll help you out with this.
You like to end up like Scott right here? Yeah, right there. Him. Yeah.
What's that? What with bags under my eyes and me looking like I'm 92? Yeah, you don't want any of
Professor
this.
Xavier over here. Yeah, whatever.
That's all right. So what are you doing the blood work for tomorrow? Are you
I have no
healthy
clue.
right now?
I don't even remember because like I've hit 54 years old. I smoked for a number of years. I actually went in for a low radiation MRI on my chest. I forget. I went into the hospital. I went into Altman. They put me in the thing. They did my chest for a couple swipes and got out. And then like a couple days later, the doctor's like, "Hey, no chest cancer. Good job." I'm like, "Okay, great." So yeah, I have no idea what the other stuff is. Of course, they're like, "Yeah, you should get a colon scan." It's been about 10 years. I'm like, "Yeah, I hate that shit." But yeah, this year, come December, I will be doing the colonoscopy again. That's the colonoscopy itself, great. They give you a little shot. You take a little nap, you wake up, you feel great. The day before, when they make you drink this like saltwater concoction from hell and you shit your brains out all day long, not so much. Not a favorite, not a fan of that, but you know, you got to do it. So like whatever.
That's a I think
You should be at that point in your life at this point.
here's the deal. I have always when I was a kid, my mother was a hypochondriac.
Okay.
I went to the doctor every other week. I was on so much medication when I turned 18. I stopped it all cold turkey. Boom. Done. Not going to deal with it any longer. Hang on. And ever since then, the only time that I have gone to the doctor was when I cut my thumb off.
It'd probably be a good idea to go to the doctor at that point. Yeah.
There's a story there too.
Next week.
Then when I was in the Navy, I went to the doctor regularly. Now,
well, that was like orders, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I'm to the point now where, you know, if something starts to not feel right, I'll go to the doctor. But I did enough of it when I was a kid. But that's also why I've lived the life that I've lived. You know, like the whole work in the NASCAR pit crew stuff for 4 years. I have completed so much in my life. The minute that I got divorced from Sandy, I made it my goal to do everything that I wanted to do in life. And part of that stuff was because of you and Carl. You know, the whole racing thing, I didn't get into racing because of any. I got into NASCAR because of Sandy, but I got into racing because of you two. You two were gearheads. You two like fun cars. So like, when I finally...
Is it weird? Yeah, it must be fun. Okay. Why would anybody want to drive that car unless it was fun? It's fun.
When I finally got the opportunity to do that stuff, I went and did it. And I did it at a young enough age to where I wasn't old and decrepit when it all fell apart. Now, I'm not saying that my life's done or anything like that, but I did the stuff that, I mean, shit, I've been in the entertainment industry for 30 years. I've lit the bands that I wanted to light. I lit my favorite band, you know. I got high with George Clinton.
Damn. Okay, that's just a bucket list item I didn't know I wanted on my bucket list. God damn. I mean, it's like I got George Thorogood's autograph. I got to watch Stevie Ray Vaughan play at the Jar Arena in Akron, Ohio. So I've seen Prince, the Purple Rain tour, when I was in high school. So I've kind of ticked off like a bunch of like musical greats. I saw the Who's the Who, their last tour, and then the very last show ever done at that was a place in Richfield. Yes, the very last show at the Richfield Coliseum was the Who minus Pete Townsend with his brother Simon playing guitar, a 30-piece orchestra. So I mean, I've seen some really phenomenal shows and everything, but damn, getting high with George Clinton, I give a body part for that, I think.
That's the Richfield Coliseum was the first arena that I worked in.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. And I had a blast there. I had a very good time there. I worked some shows at Blossom. As a matter of fact, one of the kids that I went to high school with used to be the general manager of Blossom. He's now I think he's out in California now.
Nice.
Working the Staples Center or running the Staples Center. I can't remember which. Anyways, yeah, it's
Yeah.
George Clinton. I could have slept with Eileen Brennan, and I was.
Do you want to know what your picture on my phone is?
What?
It's Eileen Brennan. When you call me, I see Eileen Brennan on my phone. I've never forgotten that.
Okay,
to give all the viewers the whole story, this was back when Carl had his one house, and the one girl that we went to college with, who was also in theater, was there. And what was the reason we were all there? What was the occasion?
It was Christmas.
That's it?
Yeah, it was. Well, I was home for Christmas. Okay, at the time I was working at Virginia Stage Company,
okay,
as an electrician. And so this was 1998, because in 1999 I went to the Dallas Theater Center.
Okay.
So in 1998, I'm sitting working at the Virginia Stage Company. We had just finished A Christmas Carol, or we had just finished A Christmas Carol. So I had come home for kind of a Christmas break. We left the day before Christmas, and I was there for New Year's. And I went and hung out with you and Carl and a whole bunch of people. Well, the very next show that we were about to do was Martin McDonough show, Beauty Queen of Lebanon. The Beauty Queen of Lebanon. And they had hired Eileen Brennan to play the mother. And
you came to Ohio, and I decided to spend some time with you at Carl's house, and this certain lady that we went to school with decided to also spend some time at Carl's house. And so we're all having a drunken evening.
Yep.
And Scott proclaims, you know what? I want to sleep with Eileen Brennan. I'm like, have you ever met her? No. Do you know what she looks like? No. Do you know how old she is? No. So we just pulled up some pictures of Eileen Brennan in real time and go, she's like 80, for crying out loud. And we gave you shit for that for 4 straight days, I'm pretty sure.
So I definitely said that.
Because you have so many witnesses, you can't deny it. That's why.
I remember going to work and meeting Eileen for the first time. And the company manager of Virginia Stage Company at that point in time was my good friend Alan Bordelon, and Alan knew the bet that had been made. And so I show up to work, and Alan is standing at the stage door laughing his ass off.
Yeah, I've never heard the whole aftermath.
Now,
I only heard the precursor.
okay, to now explain to you how evil Alan Bordelon was. He proceeded to tell Eileen that I wanted to sleep with her.
Oh God, that's priceless.
Now, Eileen at this point in time is pretty much restricted to a wheelchair.
Fuck.
This is not the woman that I remember from
Movie FM.
No, it was
or
Private
Clue
Benjamin.
or anything.
Private Benjamin was the last movie
okay.
that I remember her from. This woman is not the same woman.
Which I'm pretty sure we told you about, but you didn't believe us.
Now, the run of this show was a month long, so I am stuck with this woman for a month. The first day that I get there, Alan introduces us, and instead of her shaking my hand, she grabs my ass. Now, on this show, I was hired not only to be an electrician, but I am a stagehand.
Oh, fuck me running.
So I am the stagehand that is helping Eileen get from place to place while constantly getting groped by her.
Like, imagine your grandmother's best friend trying to feel you up.
Now, I don't think that people understand the fact that when you make a bet, you have to fulfill that bet.
You didn't bet us. You just said, this is what I wanted to do. And we're like,
well, no,
what?
Exactly what happened was this. And this is very simple. I said, I'm going to sleep with her. And Burke, in his infinite wisdom, looked at me and said, you'll never get her. So in my mind, there's the challenge. The challenge is set. Okay, I'm going to do this, thinking of Private Benjamin, because, Private Benjamin, okay, she was
wearing fatigues. It's just, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that was the long show.
How can you be so intrigued and disgusted simultaneously, Eileen Brennan, apparently?
Okay, before I stop this whole thing, I do have to explain this. She was one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Oh, I'll bet. I mean, she seems like a sweetheart.
She used to leave the theater. We had actors housing, which was about 2 blocks away from the theater, and we used to all walk down to actors housing together. This woman every night would pass out $20 bills to the homeless people on the streets in Norfolk.
God damn.
And I was like, wow. I mean, a lot of people could take some lessons from Eileen Brennan. In the end, no, I did not sleep with her.
You lost the bet.
Yeah, I know. I did sleep with somebody in the cast, but I'm not gonna say who. There you go.
Let me just take a guess here. You regret not sleeping with Eileen Brennan.
Oh my God, Eileen knew that I was sleeping with somebody in the cast, and it was funny because apparently Alan had told her the whole thing about the bet and all that, and it was like the second to last night before we left, and she looked at me and said, "Hey, do you and so want to have a threesome tonight?" Like, what the?
That's classic. Fucking A.
She literally when unlike
and she did it just to fuck with you.
Well, that night we all had a big party before the end of the last show, and we were all talking about the bet and all that, and Eileen turns around, looks at me, and says, "Do you want me to take nude photos for your friend Burke?" Like this woman, she was a hoot.
Oh Christ! I feel like I'm that much closer to stardom. Oh shit! Oh Christ! If I ever meet her, I'm gonna go, yeah, I'm waiting for the nudes, lady.
It was very weird because she had my Yahoo email account, and I actually got an email from someone who worked with her when she died, letting me know that she had died. They were texting everyone that was in her
right
in her contact book, and I was like, well, that's really kind of cool that I was still in her contact book.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of cool. Weird but cool. Yeah,
us theater folks are very, very weird. So
that goes without saying.
So that was okay. I can't believe I went into that story, but didn't go into the George Clinton story. That makes no sense.
We'll save that for another night. I want to hear about that in great detail.
I think I've lit George Clinton now like 9 times.
God damn.
He cracks me up. He is one.
He's one different breed of cat, isn't he?
He is definitely. Yeah, he is one strange dude, and like his tour manager. Okay, his tour manager cracks me up. His tour manager's he's not African American. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
So he does not click with the rest of the group that's there. But when you get into a conversation with him, you start to realize, holy crap, that's just a white George Clinton.
He kind of got to adapt, I guess. I mean, if you're gonna hang with George, you gotta kind of like tune in, man.
Hey, the last time I lit George Clinton was down in Houston. A pastor was having a birthday party, and they had George come in and do the birthday party.
Wait, okay, slow down.
Yeah.
I'm having a little trouble wrapping my head around that whole statement.
Which part? The part that George Clinton did a birthday party, or the fact that it was a pastor?
Pastor and George Clinton and birthday party all together.
Yes, it was George Clinton headlining a pastor's birthday
In Texas.
of
Wait,
a
in Texas?
non-denominational church. Yes,
In Texas.
It was in Houston.
Oh, fucking A.
You do realize that the Bible Belt goes from like Virginia, jumps over a whole bunch of states and lands in Texas.
Yeah. Doesn't George Clinton burst into flames when he goes into a church down there? I mean, come on.
When the green room door opens and the loft of pot just rolls out into the room, you know it's gonna be a good show.
Yeah. We're having a good time tonight in the old town tonight. Oh,
anyways,
Christ.
it was anyways, the production manager walks in and he turns around and looks at me, and I'm like, oh, it's the same guy. I know it's the same guy. It is the same guy. He walks over. He's like, hey, man, I think I know you. Although the person that I know was like really not as fat as you.
30 pounds lighter.
What the hell are you saying, man? It's me. It's Scott.
It's just
I thought that was you.
Boobalatti. Just deal with it. Come on, let's do the show.
I thought that was you, but you're so fat now. I quit smoking. Oh,
Dude,
that all makes sense.
Yeah. Dope. The truth serum of our ages. Yeah.
I quit smoking. I gained a lot of. Oh, that makes sense.
Well, there you go.
So I was hired by that. I was hired by another company. The company that did the sound for that show hired me to come and do the lights for this. And the owner of the company, he was all he's like, you're gonna have a great time with this band and all this stuff. And all of a sudden the production manager comes out. He's like, hey, Scott, you want to come back with us? And all I see as I turn around is the owner of the other company looking sad as all get out because he was not invited into the.
Wait. He goes get to smoke dope with George Clinton. I don't. Wait a minute. That's not right. It's like you're looking at him like, yo, dude, I'm a homie. Just deal with it.
All right, I'm done with George Clinton.
All right.
I got to get out of here. It's like 10:30. 10:50.
It's like 11:30 my time. So yeah, I'm this is not 2:00 in the morning, which is good.
Wait. Let me see the bottle before I go. Let me see how much of the bottle's left.
We're down to.
Oh, you didn't even tank
just half. Yeah, we'll save for another night.
That's you gotta get. I mean,
blood work. I gotta go to the doctor in the morning, man. Come on, it can't be all like half alcohol and half blood in the sample they take.
Blood work. Yeah. Remember to listen to the Davis and Davis show.
Yeah, if you're ever injured.
The law firm of Davis and Davis. The only law firm in Ohio that's never won a case.
Well, everyone, you have a great evening tonight, and please tune in again tomorrow.
These are the soulful sounds of Burke.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, man. I will catch you later.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
You too. Bye.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you. while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service, real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.